Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. In the Siddur, we're on page 8. This prayer is B'Shem Hashem, in the name of was, is, will be, the present. Arrive at Shabbat. On our right, our left, past, present, stuff to let go of, simple things to do to recenter ourselves. We thank you for being here with us as Shabbat comes in, whether we're virtual or visible. Davening together tonight with Shazan Schefter, Lavasya, Shoshana Jedwab, and Luke Regadney, and all of you. I see Aunt Joni holding down the fort. I see Eden. I know some of you might be here for the first time. Lucky you. I like being the first time with something fresh, something new. That's nice. Thanks for breathing together, inspiring together. Who have you brought with you tonight on every level? Who's your +1, your +10? Because we all have one. A friend, a memory. I'm loving my my right shoulder right now. Because it's a gift. This body, this breath, this being human. So our sacred story in the Torah recognizes that there was a moment in consciousness where we betrayed our deeper self. This betrayal in our mythic story is a moment when we told ourselves that that which would satisfy our yearning was outside of ourselves. We reach for the tree, or any shiny thing will do. And forevermore, that mythic story tells us that the consequence of reaching for something outside of ourselves, what Rav Kook calls outside of the ani ha'atzmi, the essential core us, consciousness unfolding in moment by moment as we reach for those shiny things. The consequence of that was clothing, says the Torah. A sense of an inside and an outside that we needed to cover from. As if to say that if you reach for that which is outside of yourself, you will feel that so much of life is outside of you. And then on Shabbat we come inside. We say, Yigalena, take off. We wear white, which is really skin. Not white skin, but just the colorless quality of pure light and pure transparency. And you say, let that be peace, right? Let that be a place to land. So inviting you to land at this moment. There might be things outside of this sanctuary, outside of your home, wherever you are, that are pulling you. And very gently, as we chant this together, rest in your own body, your own sensations, your own enoughness in this moment. As Shabbat brings a smiling face. Yigalena.
Gale, 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 no. Froze, Habibi Allah.
Gale, 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 froze, froze, Habibi Page 12, Shiru.
Shiru Adonai Shir Kaddish, Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai Baruch Shemo, Basru Yom Leyom Yeshuato, Sa'apru Vagoyim.
Let's rise if you're able.
Page 20, 20, 20.
may be seated, everyone. On the bottom of page 22.
Baruch Shem
Shem
Kevod
Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem
Kevod
Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem
Kevod
Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam
Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
I invite you, if your eyes are not already closed, just close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And as you're seated here, imagining yourself tonight as the great mythic figure Noah. Imagine yourselves at this moment making your way towards the great ark. All around you, flood waters beginning to rise as you, one foot after another, walk the ramp up to a refuge. See, feel, touch the wood. Gopher wood. Maybe see the animals. Perhaps see the lapping waters beginning to make their way towards the door as it closes, and into this refuge you find your seat. What is it that you've taken with you? What is it that you've left behind? What did it take to enter, to believe? And imagining yourself in the long days and the even longer nights, wondering when the rains would stop. Can you taste the hope and the despair? What is it that gives you hope? touch that in the last minute. When the rains finally subsided, did you believe that you would ever leave that ark again? What would be the signal? What would be the signal that gave you permission? As you hear that signal inviting you in your own heart and mind to begin to open the door, what do you see? What do you feel? What's it like to leave the ark? If you'd like to open your eyes and join us with these words. Page 24. Adoni likras kala denei Shabbos nekavno
Chor bedibur echad ishmiyanu el ha-meyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'letilo
Adoni likras kala denei Shabbos nekavno
Krat Shabbat u'venecha ki mekor
Hambracha meirosh
Rosh mikadem ne'esucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tfilah
Adoni likras kala denei Shabbos nekavno
Mikdash melech ir melucha Kum mitze'i mitoch ha'afecha Kabbalat Shabbat Yekabbacha Vehu yachmol
Adoni likras kala denei Shabbos nekavno הלכתי קורמה אל נפשי גאלה אדוני נקרא קלה אבן שבת Shabbos Nikabel. Please rise if you're able as we face the door. Oh, Baba, Boi, Mishalom, Ateret Bala, Gam, Messiah, Mitzvah, Halak, Omotok, Emne, Am, Segulam, Boi, Chalo, Shabbat Malka, Lekandoni Likraka, Yalalai, 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 Bene Shabbat, Nikamela, Lekandoni Likraka, Bene Shabbat, Nikamela, Shabbat is called the secret, and the secret is stay standing. It's called the mystery, Raza. What a great Aramaic word. Every Hebrew word becomes more interesting when it becomes Aramaic.
So much more.
It's like it goes from Raz, which is pretty cool, which is like mystery, and it goes Raza. Ooh. And then there's a Daled, Dish Shabbat, which in the prefix in Aramaic does shell of Raz Shel Shabbat, the secret of Shabbat, Raza de Shabbat. The Zohar in the 13th century paints a picture that Shabbat is a day that in its temporality, in its essence, holds a mystery of unity. Shabbat has no partner, right? Sunday has Monday, Tuesday has Wednesday, Thursday has Friday, but Shabbat, no partner. And the mystics say, well, we're the partner of Shabbat, but the deeper meaning of that is that just as Shabbat holds infinity and the finitude of the world, so do we hold it. We're the perfect partner for Shabbat because we're also a raza. We're a mystery. The mystery of the sublime and the banal, of the heights and the depths, of the inside and the outside, all of the twos. Shabbat holds them together like we do. And so the mystery of you, the mystery of Shabbat, it's in your Siddur for Friday night on page 26 or 27. 30. It's a secret, but now you know. So join us as we sing Raza de Shabbat.
יחדת לצאתה ורזו Pray for those who are needing healing tonight. As you bring to mind loved ones and maybe even yourself tonight. Maybe as you pray for others in healing, also pray for yourself if that speaks to you, if you need healing tonight. In a world of broken hearts, may God heal all of those fissures and fractures. Healer of the brokenhearted.
Healer of the brokenhearted, binder of our wounds, counter of uncountable stars. You know who they are.
הרופא לשמואל לב ומחבש לעצותם מנה מספר לכוכבים לכולם שמות יקרא ענה אלם פנה לנו ענה אלם פנה לנו מי שברך אבותינו ואמותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, משה, אהרון, דוד ושלמה ויצחק, רבקה, רחל, לאה, בלהה, זילפה, דינה, נעמי ורות. ויברך וירפא את כל החולים. עבור שכולנו מתפללים בעבורם, נזכר הקדוש ברוך הוא, ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחלימם ולרפאותם, לחזיקם, לחיותם. ישלח להם מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים. May the source of love and miracle bring healing for all of our friends and family, all of those whom we have brought to mind and to heart. We pray for healing in their bodies, their hearts, their mind, spirit. We pray for them and include them in all of our prayers with all of the world that is in need of healing tonight. May we all sing a song of wholeness and healing together as we sing Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let us say Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated, everyone. So good to daven together. It's like, I don't want to stop. Like even announcements, it's just let's keep going, you know. It's like, let's keep singing, you know. But hey, we got to say hi. It's part of the Siddur, part of the prayer book is welcoming those who are here for the first time. And also, that'll come in a moment, a couple of things that you need to know that we probably won't be able to convey by singing. And so here it is on the screen in front of you. We have an incredibly robust Romemu platform for teaching wisdom, both Kabbalistic, Hasidic wisdom, kind of typical Jewish wisdom that comes in a shul. It's all happening at Romemu. So we have a yeshiva, daily Hasidic masters classes. You can join anytime. Meditation started this week on Wednesday. It was really beautiful. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. How many people came to the meditations this week at some point? Was it helpful to you in the middle of the day, like to stop and meditate for like 18 minutes of silence and guidance? Great. So if that's useful, it's there. It's available to all of you. The meditations are both some of the beginner instruction, but also some dropping in instructions into the always already ever-present, you know, divine presence that is just a breath away, just an awareness away. So that's there for you. Also, our beautiful platform for adult ed is available too. The Romemu Well, the Well has 7 courses that are starting soon. You can choose a course of study: Hebrew, Talmud, Torah. Alina Bloomgarten teaching astrology and Musar. Just from the staid traditional synagogue that we are, we breaking out of our mold to like stretch into astrology of all things, and we know that that might shock some of you, but it's part of the Jewish tradition. And so, you know, we're going to try out being a little bit renewally. So thank you so much for that, Alina. And of course, together with Karen Fried. So wonderful, as usual. We're going to be welcoming we're excited about this. Aren't we excited?
Can't see it.
Well, you will in a second. Jackson is on the way.
Jackson
Mercer, our rabbinic fellow. Jackson Mercer, a really talented musician, talented rabbinical student up at Hebrew College in Boston, will be joining us. He'll be with us for the whole year. So, you know, if you miss him when he comes in, you can get a chance to pray together with Jackson. He's a really talented guy and a mensch. So he's coming next week. So come out and welcome him either in Zoom or here in person or on site. And home hosting, right? Gotta love home hosting, right? People come together in homes and meet around Shabbat tables, conversations. We have like the Baskin Robbins of home hosting. You have like 17 flavors of different ways. Like you can choose to be at a home where they're going to be talking about Jew curious things, things about, I mean, it's a whole amazing list. Sign up by October 18th. And, maybe Chazan Basi, why don't you tell them about what's happening next Saturday night at 7 to 8:30.
I'm
Next
going to
Saturday
have
night.
to riff because I
You know
can't
what
see
it
it.
is.
So, so next Saturday night, there's a program to celebrate Marsha Pally's book, The Broken Hill, and it's also in honor of Leonard Cohen's 5th anniversary of his passing. It was exactly 5 years ago that he passed. So we're going to have her in conversation with Rabbi David. In addition, we're going to have some musical selections from different faith communities. So we're going to kind of have like a Sacred Sounds book talk anniversary melange.
To honor the great Cohen from
Yes.
Montreal, Leonard Cohen. That's next Saturday night, a week from tomorrow night. The new Jew, who knew? The new Jew. The new Jew, the Yehudi Hadash. It's like Romemu was featured along with a number of other liberal Jewish communities in a groundbreaking series in the land of Israel where the spiritual marketplace is a little bit narrower than it is here in the States. And so this new Jew series came out, and I'm very honored to be in conversation with Rabbi Angela Buchdal of Central Synagogue. It's an online event. We'll be screening parts of that new Jew series with Guri Alfi. I mean, people told me Guri Alfi, he's a well-known comedian in Israel that I didn't know, and he came to Romemu, and he was so sincere. We did warrior pose in my office, and then he came and he davened Friday night with us. It was so beautiful. And I had people in Israel saying, I saw you on, Romemu dancing, and we need more of that in Israel. So that's going to be on October 21st, Thursday night, October 21st. And tomorrow morning, of course, the open book with Rabbi Kolaresis will be at 9 o'clock, and services at 10 o'clock. There'll be a Kaddish tomorrow. So like everybody knows, there's going to be a Kaddish on the roof. Why are we having a Kaddish on the roof? Because Isaac is getting bar mitzvah. Tomorrow, Isaac, is going to be bar mitzvah. I hope he's going to be with us at some point tonight. I told him to log on so we can say hello and wish him a mazel tov. So Isaac, Posner, and Daniel, and Alona, it's going to be wonderful. Time to say hello to anyone who's here for the first time in the Romemu Center or online. If you're online, you can tell us your name and where you're from in the chat area if you'd like, and we'll kind of call it out. But for now, we're going to just pass the mic around, see if there's anybody here for the first time. Anybody here for the first time want to say hello? Oh, that's right, of course.
I am definitely not here for the first time, but this is my new wife's first time at Romemu. So, yeah, we're very happy to be here.
How about some names? Names.
This is Pamela, and I'm Ian.
Welcome, guys, and welcome, Pamela. Great to have you. Thanks for praying with us. Thanks for being with us. Yes.
Hi, I'm David, and I am from Brooklyn.
I'm Sabra, and I'm from Oakland, California. And
Sabra
I
from Oakland.
joined your High Holiday services virtually last year, and I'm happy to be here in person today.
That's awesome. Awesome. Look at that. Amazing. Anyone else? While you're moving around, I'm going to announce a couple of people here.
Hi, I'm Efrat. I'm from Jerusalem, Israel, without the spiritual community, but I am from a spiritual community, so nice to be here. I heard a lot about you and a great show with Guri Alfi.
Ah, okay. So you see? Efrat, ברוכה הבאה.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm from New York, and I'm excited to be here.
Anyone else?
We have a couple of people here in the chat. Nikki Green. Nikki Green, thanks, Aunt Joni. A fairly new member from Australia. Thanks, Nikki. From down under. And there's also Patty from San Francisco. Hi, Patty.
Okay. Wow. So great to be with all of you. One last celebration. Our dear friend Jonathan Fastberg became a new father. He's an old father too, but he became a new father. Just this past week, he just had a baby, huh? Wow, look at that, baby Fastberg. Oh my goodness. You have got, that is,
Can we
wow.
eat him?
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're in the hospital.
Oh wow.
I mean, honestly. I mean, like 2 years ago. Would never have happened. Not only the baby wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't have seen you in the hospital, and you wouldn't have been able to join us for service 2 years ago. Sorry about that. Wow. Mazal tov.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. When you're in the presence of royalty, it's customary to rise, and so to His Royal Highness, the baby, as that Freud called all babies His Royal Highness, His Majesty, right? And so to Jay, Julie, and Grandy from Chicago, who are your fam, right? Hey guys, look, a cantor is being born, right? Amazing, right?
No pressure.
No pressure. It's just so beautiful to pray with you. Just when you, like I feel the presence of God immediately. So let's sing, everybody, as we rise for the Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 yada, oh. Ay, 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 yada, yada. Ay, 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 yada. Ay, 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 yada, yada. Ay, 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 yada, oh. Ay, ay, yada, yada. את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Page 34. בחוכמה בוטח אשר לתבונה משנה עיתים ומחליפת הזמנים ומסדרת את הכוכבים במשמריהם כרצונה ברצונות ומעבירה יום ומביאה לילה ומבדילה בין יום ובין לילה יצרות שמה אלא חיה וקיימת תמיד תמלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוכה השכינה המרהיבה הרבים דניננה הום אבס עולם
בייס ישרמך, תור מצוות, חוקים משפטים וסלימת
Have you loved us
הקן,
and taught
יא
us to
אלוהינו, ושוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקך ונזמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. ים חיינו ויונך ימינו ובכם נגן יומם ולילה ויעבדך תשים ממנו עולה אום לעמים מרור אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Page 39.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך וקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך והיה הם שמות תשמעו על שפתי השם.
Adonai Moshe Leimor Daber B'nei Yisrael Sulem Titi
Take on the fringes, the fringes, the fringes, all of the fringes, the fragments of the fringes, take them, gather them for the four corners of the world, for the four corners of the world. Take them to your lips, take them to your lips, take them to your heart, take them to your heart, take them to the breath of all life.
וקיים עלינו, כי עוד מלאים מצוות טוב. ואנחנו ישראל מעבדינו מיד מלאכים, מלכים וגולנו מכף כל הרצים. ואל תהילות, לאל עליון ברוך ומבורך. משה מרים ובני ישראל, לכו שירה. Rabba on page 48. V'yameru chula. Mi chamocha.
Ba'elim Adonai.
Ba'elim Adonai.
Mi kamocha.
Mi kamocha.
Neder bakodesh.
Malechutecha Ra'u manecha Bokei hayam Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Anu ve'amnu
Adonai
Adonai yimlo
Leolam va'ed.
Le'olam Page 49 and 50. We move for peace. We move in peace. We move by peace, to peace, with peace. Spread over us, within us, around us, through us. Shelters of peace, connection, love, wholeness.
Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu b'eitza tova milfanecha lehoshiyenu
Please rise if you are able. Page 52, Vishamiru. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת דורותם בריתות Kaddish on page 52.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash mei rabba.
Amen.
V'adirach yirutei v'yamlech malchutei. V'chayechonu v'yomechon. U'chayedecha beit Yisrael. Bagala bagala. U'vizman karev yimiru.
Amen.
Yesh mei rabba mevorach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לעילא מן כל ברכסה ושיר עשה תושבי חסה ונחם עשה דמירוניה and let us say Amen. We have time for our private and silent reflections. The traditional Amidah can be found at your Sidurim on page 58, also 68 and 70, a number of different alternative Amidot as we stand together.
עושה שלום במרומיו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one bring peace down, bring peace down, bring peace down, bring peace down. You may sit down, peace down, peace down.
Each and every year, when we arrive at Parshat Noach, at the portion of the Torah called Noach, about the character, the Torah begins with something, a description that seems to be obvious and very straightforward about the character of this individual, of who Noah was. That seems to be like his resume for becoming the chosen one before Abraham was the chosen one. Noah is the chosen one. The Torah seems to describe the characteristics of Noah that are unique and that stand out and that seem to be worthy of emulation and certainly make him the worthy candidate for being the savior of all humanity in this myth, in this story. And as a yeshiva student, as a young yeshiva student growing up, that simple, obvious description was almost always undermined by the immediate commentary on this description, given to Rashi, the French commentator on the Torah. Let me give it to you so you hear what I'm talking about. So the Torah says, Eila toldot Noach. These are the generations of Noach. They introduce us to Noah. Noach, ish tzaddik haya. He was a tzaddik. What's a tzaddik? Keith, what's a tzaddik? You're a tzaddik. What's a tzaddik? Tzaddik. A holy man, a righteous man. The word tzedek, like tzedakah, righteousness. Right? Ish tzadikaya, he was a tzaddik. And you would think that that's a pretty good thing, to be a tzaddik. First person called a tzaddik in the Torah. Really the only one called a tzaddik in the Torah. And then it seems that the Torah then adds something. Tamim haya b'dorotav. He was wholesome, tamim, from the word tam, meaning pure or simple. We know it from the 4 children, right? One of them is Tom, like a tomfoolery, Tom, like simple, simpleton. Tamimaya, he was really simple. In his generation, bidorotav. So if you're reading the Torah just as kind of your average book, without needing to parse words or feeling like anything is extraneous, you think, oh, he's a righteous, wholesome person in his generation. Sorry about that. Like a righteous, wholesome person in his generation. Super wholesome, super righteous. Great, awesome. So that's the simple meaning, right, Gary? That's like we learned about that. But then, of course, as you know, and others who grew up in yeshiva, or if you studied this before, Rashi seems, along with the rabbis, to be troubled by the mentioning of his generation. Why was he wholesome in his generation? What do you mean in his generation? What other generation could he be in? You can see how Jewish neurosis begins. You had me at commentary, right? It's like, what do you mean? In his generation. So you're thinking, prose, that's the way stories go. Nope. For the rabbis, if God writes the Torah, every word that might not have been necessary is there for a reason. So Rashi, of course, quotes early commentaries that say, those who don't know who Rashi is, he's a person. I'm not talking, Rashi is an acronym for a person. Lived in France, the greatest commentator on Torah and Talmud and other Jewish literature. Rashi says, Yesh shedorshimoto l'shevach, v'yesh shedorshimoto l'gnai. There are some people, Yesh shedorshim, there are some who expound, there are some who comment this in his generation as praiseworthy, right? It's there to highlight praise of Noah. And there are some who see the extraneous, superfluous, miyutar word, bidorotav, in his generation, as lignai, to say that he wasn't so great. Those who say that it was l'shevach, for praise, what do they say? In his generation. Right? The greatest of his generation. Great. Simple meaning. Who are those who say that it's not l'shevach, not to praise Noah, but to actually cut him down to size? They say in his generation he was great. But if he had been in the generation of Abraham, can you hear Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, other, right? It's kind of, in this generation, he's the greatest hitter, the greatest this, the greatest that, comparing generations. And I always, of course, was troubled by this, and I wasn't alone. I think many of us who study this, if you've ever studied, thought to yourself, what is, the Torah is absolutely explicitly calling this person a righteous person. Why would anybody want to cut him down? Why would anybody want to diminish the greatness of this mythical, or this character? I found a couple of Hasidic masters who were also troubled by this, and they give a really novel approach that actually I think is very instructive for our lives. There was one Hasidic Rebbe whose name was Rav Meir of Premishlan, and he said like this: 2 things Rashi has come to teach us, he writes. 2 things. First is that when it says there are some who expounded this to praise and some who expounded it to be critical, it means not commentaries, but humans in general always find a way to see anyone both as praiseworthy, and the very same person becomes the locus of critique. And the Torah comes to teach us, he says, Meir of Premishlan says, everyone has experienced some version of gossip, some version of label and libel against them. It doesn't matter how wholesome you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how wonderful you have seemed, at some point somebody will find you problematic. And then he says something very profound, that this, he says, it's up to us to learn that it's not always relevant, he says, to listen, he says. We don't always have to give credence to the conversations of people and their chatter. Ha'emet lamitahi shenoach tzadik tamim ki divrei Torah v'lo ka'otam shedarshu midat tzidkuto lignai. He says, listen, in the end of the day, who wins in this conversation? The Torah wins. And the Torah said he was a righteous person. There are some who say he wasn't, and some say, well, if it would have been in this generation, or he's such a great person in this moment, but if he was, it's just circumstantial, right? The chaff will rise. It's not really who he is, she is, they are. The Torah, in the end, says, Rav Meir Premishlan says to us 2 things. One is, there will always be gossip. There will always be people criticizing and tearing down. And in the end, what really matters is what the Torah says, or what it will be written about you by those who knew you best. And this last insight from a different Rebbe, the Kuzmir Rebbe, Rabbi Cheskel of Kuzmir writes, he says, the great thing about the Torah telling us that there were some who expounded upon, right, this tzaddik, this righteous person, for praise, and some who were critical of him. The greatest of this is to teach us, says the Kuzmir Rebbe, not only will people gossip about you, but if you are going to be a great leader in the world, and the only thing people are saying about you is praiseworthy, you're not a great leader. The Kuzmir Rebbe says that if you're going to do things that are difficult in the world, if you're going to make changes, if you're going to take a stand, if you're going to have courage, if you're going to be like Noah, which we usually don't imagine Noah, as this fierce character. But to some degree, the Kuzmir Rebbe says, there are going to be some who say what you did is really great, and there are going to be some who say, you know what, I could have done it better, or I would have done it better. And the litmus test, the Torah says, of being a tzaddik and to be tamim is not that everybody likes you. And that if you want as your litmus test for leadership, you will fail. It's so horrific to hear from a friend of mine last night who was very, very involved in politics, who told me about a friend of his whom he knows for a very, very long time. It shouldn't be as a shock to anybody here, right? His friend is a politician. And he's running for office, and he posted something yesterday that was so absolutely craven, so absolutely remarkably, but maybe not so remarkably in our current climate, so remarkably irresponsible and frankly crazy, because my friend knows that this person didn't mean it. But he wants to be elected. He wants to be liked. Simple. I know. What a simple message. But I think that Noah's character, which is often assailed in the tradition when compared to Abraham and others, is a remarkable character for us. Someone whose name means like nice, comforting. The Zohar, the 13th century mystical work, says that Noah's name is mentioned twice in the first verse. Noach, Noach, right after each other. Right? It says, Ele toldot Noach, Noach. Like you can look in the Torah, you see two Noachs, one right next to each other, parsed by different grammar. But Noach, Noach, the Zohar says he was sweet above and below. Everybody liked him. Noach le'ela, Noach le'tata. Like, you know, up on top in the heaven, they were like, what a great guy that Noah is. And then below, they were like, oh, yeah, Noah's a sweet guy. He's a good guy. He's nice. I don't know about you, but I have my mother. I don't think she's watching this, but God, I love you, Mom. But just a joke that you know that we have in the family, your favorite adjective for people is that four-letter word, nice. Nice. Mom, how was that person? Nice. Do you like it? He's so nice. That Luke Wagadin, he's so nice. And we'd be like, Mom, is there anything else to say? Like, Luke's an artist. He's a young guy. He's brilliant and creative. Yeah, all those things my mother said, but most important, he's a nice guy. Noach is the nice guy. He's Ted Lasso. Noach is Ted Lasso in the way of being the perennial ridiculous optimist that he is in the character. And yet he still had his detractors, right? Some people saw him being too nice. He's too nice. He's too optimistic. He's too unrealistic. He's Pollyannish, saccharine. Oh, goodness. Yesh dorshimato lignai. Oh, Noah. Sadiq tamim haya b'dortav. My friend said one of the more hopeful signs that he's seen in the last 10 years is that a show like Ted Lasso 5 or 6 years ago would have tanked. It's not juicy enough. It's not angry enough. But all the trends, he said, are pointing that people are a little bit done with mean. A little bit done with the politics to some degree. Maybe not. Maybe half the country isn't, or maybe 2/3. I'm done. I'm done with listening to the negativity. I'm done with having to care at all about the critics who think that being a good person, being a nice person, being a mensch is something that's worthy of anything but the very thing that the Torah is witnessing. Right? There'll always be detractors. There'll always be people like that. But the Torah says, if you want to build an ark and have people get in with you, if we want to actually survive the deluge, begin with the commitment to being Noach la'ela, Noach la'tata, nice above, nice below, recognizing that there are people that will be naysayers and people that will do that kind of thing. And you take the high road. You take the Noah road. And we rise together for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol.
Latei gidulan liotze
Page 78.
שנו עשנו כגויי הרצון ושמנו עם משפחות האדמה ששם את חלקנו עמהם וגורלנו עם כל העולם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא
והשבותה
אל לבביך
אל לבביך
Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo You may be seated, everyone. We make our way to the screen to remember the names of loved ones who are not with us. I'm inviting all of you to read along with us or to just find those names. This Shabbat we remember Oded Arad, Alan Dumaine, Benny Pete, Michael Leese, Cantor Richard Kaplan, William Emerson Hill, Naomi Heller, Fred Sanders, and Beatrice Saul Dallet. This Shabbat we remember Benjamin Voltolushkin, Beth Baldridge, Devorah Stoll, Lee Brox, Gene Foreman Shore, Ellsworth Levine, Erwin Bardash, Mr. Elsie Pops Floyd, Lynn Blacker, Shirley Gatstick, Gracetown in Denmark, Rabbi Raphael Goldstein, Hamagi Yitzchak Buxbaum, Brady Rifkin, and Lorette Nierenberg. We remember Barry Kosky, Betty Levin, Seymour Borstein, Leslie Robert Axelrod, Charlotte Figman, Stuart Saville, Lily Zimmett, Julia Eisenberg, Shirley Marlowe, Gretchen Drury, Michael Fricano Jr., Nancy Trigger, Rabbi Dr. Henry Dicker, Robert Gerald Cohen, and Angela Margolis. We remember Everett Duchen, Abati Ariel Bat Avraham, Kathy Maddy, Elizabeth Deegan, Bertha Sutton, Naomi Kramer Stemp, Miriam Mimi Stern-Wolf, Hadassah Loeb, Roberta Lipperman, Alice Makiras, Andy Neiman, Pauline Dixon, Joel Winograd, Albert Passner, and Elisa Peshabat Khana. We remember Henry Bowman Backer, Vivian Esses, Chayabat Olga Vilian, Henry Lee, Catherine Wilkinson, Bernice Urson, Bill Holland, Annie Esti, Marisa Nanyan, Eric Press, Iona Miller, Yost Lundberg, Stan Hildebrand, Sherry Guiliano and Ingrid Hecker. We remember Candace Simmons, Amalia Costa, Hinda Dina Bat Mordechai, Eric and Hamilton Dominguez, Tina Russo, Lucio Russo, Arlene Applebaum, and Irving Applebaum. We remember Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Irene Wilkinson, Daniel Zielinski, Arthur Sachs, and Susan. We invite those in our community within the Rumagog in the shul here to please rise if you are remembering a loved one. And we invite you to bring the name of your loved one into the presence of the entire community if you feel called to say their name.
Paul Gilman.
My friend Patricia.
My mother, Rachel Bat Gittel Veleib.
My father, Max Cecil, 44 years, Yardside.
Billy Gelfand.
My father, Eliezer Deutsch, and my mother, Millicent Schwartz.
My friend Danielle.
My father, Barry Eisenberg, Baruch Yaakov ben Meir Vepesel.
On page 116, everybody, if your custom is to stand with the mourners, please rise if you are able. Mourners Kaddish can also be found on the screens. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach Yerusei v'yamlich malchusei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach le'alam l'mei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata damiran v'oma v'imiru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imiru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel, and let us say
Amen.
Yehei zichram baruch, may their memory be a blessing. We invite all of you to please rise if you're not already standing as we conclude the service with our Kiddush, and also some thank yous are in order for this evening's service. I want to thank, let's see, who are we thanking tonight? All kinds of people.
Oh, thank you so much. That was perfect timing. To our clergy team, all of us here, thank you. That's you, Luke, and to Shoshana, and to Chazan Schechter, Chazan Basia. Also to Cyrus and Tom here. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. To Michaeli, on-site, Justin and Junior. Where's Michaeli? Michaeli, Justin and Junior and Freddie, Eliza, Rivka, and Ari are remote. Our entire beautiful staff that's been keeping this community going and going and going. Doesn't stop. This is an amazing team. Big yasher koach. And once again, we're gonna call forward if Isaac, our bar mitzvah, is in the house. Where's Isaac? Is he here, Isaac? We see Isaac? Do we see Isaac, or maybe he didn't make it? Well, either way, Isaac, we'll see you tomorrow in the shul. And Jonathan, where's the baby? One more time, Jonathan. One more baby. Come on, where's Jonathan and the baby? Maybe Jonathan also was in the hospital, so maybe, like, who knows? You never know when I'm going to call on you, so always be ready. Oh, there he is, Fastberg. Where's the baby? Now you're muted. Okay, we want to hear your voice. Can we unmute Jonathan for a sec? Almost. There you go.
He's feeding with mama.
Wow, you have a strong projection from all the way down there. All right.
He's feeding.
Okay, Jonathan, you're going to make Kiddush with me, okay? I'm going to just set it up, and I'll tee it up, and then you're going to make it, okay? In honor of that little bundle of joy in your... Wow, I don't even...
Okay, I don't have it in front of me.
Don't worry, I got you.
Okay, good.
Layups, only layups. Vayer vayivoker yom hashishi, vayichulu hashamayim v'haaretz chol tzivam, vayichal Elohim vayom hashmi'i melachto asher asa, vayishbot vayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. Vayevarech Elohim et yom ha-shevi'i, vaykadesh oto, ki lo shavat mikol melachto, asher barda Elohim lasod. We're all going to do Savri, and then we say L'chaim.
You like this? L'chaim.
L'chaim, Jonathan. Now you say the blessing over the wine. Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushai mitzvotav v'ratzav banu v'shabbat kodsho mi'avav ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila Zecher
Letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta Im kol ha'amim Shabbat kodshecha B'ahava u'ratzon Hinchaltanu
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam.
Shabbat Shalom Aleinu, Shabbat Shalom